Now it's Trubisky. Looking deep for Gabriel. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. He was trying to hit Taylor Gabriel that time, and now it's third down. Well, that's a perfect example of how he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week from last week's game. He is just all around the football right now, isn't he?
That he is, and it's funny because I talked with the coaching staff about drills that they do in practice, and one of them is called matching hands. And as soon as that hand is launched by the quarterback, you throw up the opposite hand and match that hand with the QB. And oftentimes you're able to knock it away, as we just saw there.
Now Trubisky on 3rd and long. This one into the hands of Burton. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the 20 at the 18. It'll be a gain of 17, but even with that, they'll be well short here for 4th down. Here's Pat O'Donnell now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And this punt goes out of bounds, and it'll be marked inside the 40.
They're on the 36-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? Best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions because the game certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remotes clicking off right now.
Set, lady. Check, 59. I got one. Kill.
Now a handoff looking right. It'll be a gain of 7, and they get it back to a 3rd and 3.
I know the game's not over, but there's got to be a sense of satisfaction right now for the guy carrying the football a bunch today. 99 yards, and he has enough time to go over the century mark.
Well, you got to give it to him again, right?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. You're not worried about losing yardage here. You're not worried about any of that. You just want to get him to the promised land for every runner, 100 yards or more in a game.
The Lions on 3rd down. They're at 50%, 4 for 8. Here it's 3rd and 3. They'll run with Bawden. And he's going to be taken down here still a couple yards short of the first. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down.
Well, there was a trust factor in that call, turning and handing it to the big man in the backfield, trying to pick up the first down. But how about the defense? They were ready for him, and they were able to stop him.
Here's Sam Martin now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Out of bounds and close. The question, was it a touchback? No. They'll say it crossed out at the 2-yard line. Excellent placement, and off that bounce, Charles, I didn't know where it was going to go. It can be an inexact science as to where they place it, but they say the 2-yard line.
Yeah, I don't know how they really determined that. And let's face it, at the end of that play, one side's going to be happy, the other team's going to be unhappy. It's like, what do they do, shorten the hypotenuse? I mean, how do they figure that out? You know that stuff. You're the smart guy.
Oh, that's you, partner. It's complete to Robinson. And he's able to get this one up to the 8-yard line this time. A gain of 6 there on first. Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
Alert! Alert! Back and go full strength.
Now a shotgun handoff to Cohen. And this will be a gain of right around 3 from the 7 out to the 10-yard line. Another carry, same story. Fourth quarter, and he is in red numbers right now with a running game.
Hard to believe because you figure at some point you break off a run. But in this case, what we're seeing is just pure domination by the defense. I think it started with the scouting report. They got into what they were doing offensively, into their mindset, and now they're beating them to the punch on every snap.
9 yards on the play and a first down.
First and 10 at the 19-yard line.
Stop! 180! 18. For this, man. They're not ready for this.
Now Trubisky. The screen pass here to Cohen. And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 14-yard line. Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And it'll be a second and long.
Stop! 180! Mike back 2. Here we go. Blue. Here we go. Hey, Delta. Hey, Mike 52.
Trubisky will throw. Gets this to his running back, Tariq Cohen. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for third down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
From the gun on third down, it's Trubisky. Oh, he almost intercepted it. They're just forcing it into too many tough spots. That was almost a fourth pick of the game. And now fourth down. Here's Pat O'Donnell now, as he'll punt it away for the fourth time today. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 15 yards for the Lions there on a first down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And he's got this down to the 35. He'll get a dozen there, and the Lions have a first down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up first and 10. Stafford delivers this to Hawkinson. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
Not too many teams will use a first-round pick on a tight end, so you know that when one does, he's got to be pretty darn special.
A small example of why they took him in the first round there. Nice little catch and run to get the good yardage. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It's a 6-yard loss on the play, and it'll make this a 2nd and long.
Set. 280. Mike Popo. Here we go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming. So 2 disastrous running plays, and now they face a 3rd and very long. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. Give him 9 on the carry, but it's not enough. And it'll be 4th down. Well, they could just run this clock out, but here is the field goal unit on 4th down. So this one's over. It's a win for the Detroit Lions. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one. And that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, up a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for Detroit, the win gets them back over 500 at 5-4 on the year. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Chicago, the loss will drop them to 6-3 now on the year. And they'll look to regroup next week as they head to L.A. to take on the Rams. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.